Alright, we're back on this tracker project. I really want to get it done. For personal reasons, I want to get it at least functional fairly quickly. My motivations have changed a little bit. Yeah, I still have another fishing boat that I can use, but I have personal reasons that I'd really like to get this one on the water fairly soon. And the most important thing to do is to take care of the transom on this thing. Let's go over there and take a look. The transom actually doesn't look bad the way it is. That's because somebody's added these turnbuckles here and used this cross part of the splash well to pull the transom back up tight. Basically the transom has sagged over time, and it's probably okay. I could just do a quickie job of throwing some controls in the boat to get it out there, but I want to fix this. And then if you look over here, that is a 40 horse Johnson. Here, let me move the camera. Anybody with motion sickness, look away. That is a 40 horse Johnson outboard there. And there's nothing wrong with it, except that this boat is rated for a 60, and I've heard its operation described a couple of times, and it is definitely underpowered. I will either take the 50 horse off of my John boat, or I'll get a new 60 horse, well, probably not new, get a new to me 60 horse to go on this boat. But in order to work on this transom, the motor's going to have to come off. And since I'm not going to put the motor back on, I'm going to go ahead and take the controls off with it. Somebody's already partially removed the controls here, you can see. Let me move some tools out of the way. But not completely. So we need to finish that up. I think I'm going to leave the cables connected to the motor. So I need to pull this cover off. One of the things that I didn't pull in the first round, because I didn't think I was going to need to. There, that might be a better view. Okay, that should be a good view for pulling the motor off, and that shouldn't be too big a deal. they say about dirty hands, clean money? My money must be really clean today. There I go, just kicking stuff. Alright, this motor's got a lift ring already on it. That's kind of unusual. Alright, let's see here. Looks like the motor is already tilted most of the way down. So I probably could just lift it off that angled jack. But let's make sure it's all the way down. Okay. Yep. Always want to have your lifting mechanism ready before you start unbolting stuff. I don't want to hook directly onto this hook because it gets bolted in there. It doesn't swivel around. There's not a lot of room for it to flex or to go anywhere useful. So I'm going to use a short little link in between that can turn a little bit. Oh, somebody sent me a message. Hopefully they sent me lots of money. Doesn't look like it. Oh, just a fishing club announcement. Alright, let's go get that little chain link. There it is. It's nothing special. It's just one link in there, but it gives me enough flex in addition to the connection to the hook on the cherry picker, that I can maneuver the motor a little bit if I need to. This hook doesn't fit on that hook. Oh well. I have another setup. Here we go. That's what I get for grabbing the one that was already made and being lazy. And I think we'll use this one. Alright, now it's time to go get a couple wrenches, maybe an impact, and take those off. I'm not sure if I want to use an impact because sometimes stainless galls and it seizes. It's like it welds itself. But we'll try it on one. Hey, I grabbed the right size wrench the first try. Oh. Okay, we got that one broke loose. Only took almost everything I had. That one's broke loose. I actually mounted this motor on this plate a long time ago because Gary said this motor didn't have any tilt or trim, and so I suggested he get this, which is basically a tilt and trim unit rated for up to 130 horsepower. This is only 40, so no big deal. Anyway, I'm not going to want to crank those all the way off. I'm going for an impact. I know, I've walked by that camera 5 times and I haven't double checked to make sure the view is good. Looks fine to me. Looks okay from where I'm standing. You know, it'd be really neat is if they made these in a slow speed for stuff like this. You know, so you're less likely to gall stainless. Because if I gall this, I'm going to have to get an angle grinder and cut it off. Okay, all of the connections are disconnected and it's all unbolted, so we'll just jack it up and try and slide it back. I want to get my fingers in between there. Almost. If at first you don't succeed, get a bigger hammer. There we go. "40 horse Johnson, ready for sale." Battery cables, electrical cable, shifter and shifter cables. Now I'm going to, well, let me get some of this stuff out of the way. But I'm going to completely take apart this transom and probably use a castable material to pour a new transom. I might just build another plywood transom, but I'm going to take it all apart and rebuild it. But I didn't want to start taking it apart with the motor hanging on it, because the motor is the primary thing that caused it to sag over the years. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. Probably the next thing we're going to do is take off these two, oh, I hate that when my brain does that. We're going to take off these two puller turnbuckles. We're going to take off those two turnbuckles. Let's get the garbage out of our way first. I was wrong. There is a pitot tube back here. It's so dry rotted that it just broke right off just from pulling on the hose a little bit, but there was one. Most of this is going to go in the trash. And there's a transducer down there that goes to something. Let's see if the plug on the other end is still good. Hey, still has the original plug. I think I have the sounder head unit that goes with this transducer. I think it's the mount for it is still on the steering console, which I pulled out, and I think Gary gave me the actual head unit. If not, I'm sure it's in his garage somewhere. All right. This goes with this. Let's get those out. The motor. If you got a motor with no trim, these things are awesome. There's a motor. There's a hydraulic pump. And hydraulic cylinders and everything you need, all self-contained right here. And all you do is you hook these two connections up to the battery, and you hook this up to a blinker switch or a trim switch. Piece of cake. Awesome little device. Oh, you know what? The heck with that. All right, I'm going to go get some wrenches to loosen these turnbuckles. All right, what I'm going to do is zoom the camera in on that transom, and you guys will be able to see if it sags any as I loosen the turnbuckles. And this being bolted across here may support it a little bit. We're going to take this off before we take the transom apart, of course. I remember that it was sagged with this on it. Well, that one hardly had any tension at all on it. Maybe being pulled up for so many years after sagging for so many years, it kind of reformed. We're going to rebuild this transom anyway. Or maybe without the weight of the motor on it, it doesn't sag. In any case, we're going to rebuild this transom. I think the last thing I'm going to try and get done today is to pull this this power trim jack off. Let's make sure nothing's going to get smashed. Put these relays up on this side so that they don't get smashed if that drops off. Got a pry bar right here. See if that's enough. Okay, it's moving. Cut some of that sealant. I'd like to catch this. Oh, it's not too bad. But I definitely don't want it to land on my foot if I don't. There we go. One independent power trim unit. Make me an offer. And the back of the boat is cleaned off. And I might be able to get away with putting a new bracing setup in here and just sealing all the penetrations, but I'm not going to. I'm taking it apart, and at the very least I'm going to put new wood in it, but what I really want to do is put a solid castable transom in here that's made out of resin. But I think that's pretty good for today's project. I didn't want to tackle this because I thought it was going to be more of a pain, but that wasn't too bad. Not bad at all. Now I get to go put all my tools away. Okay, you guys get a little bonus footage. You get to watch me unscrew a nut. I want to take the rest of the turnbuckle out today. Yep, that's the right size. Hey, when they put the turnbuckles in to pull the transom up, they did seal the bolt holes through the transom, so they didn't cause any harm. This is for all you guys madly pounding away at the keyboard telling me how I shouldn't have used that pry bar handle as a hammer earlier. See, I actually own a hammer. And that told me for sure that this transom needs to be replaced. I was punching this out, the hammer and a punch, and whenever it would get over to the side, it would just go through that wood like it was frickin' mushrooms. Like it was nothing, like it was just wood pulp. Alright, now I'm done for the day and I'm going to go put away all my tools. Well, that wasn't too bad. A lot of the stuff I was afraid was going to happen didn't happen. I got lucky and was able to power off those stainless steel nuts without galling, so that was kind of nice. That was actually one of the easier motor removals that I've done. I kind of horsed it a little bit to get it off the last little bit instead of trimming it down on that external trim plate, but it was probably faster than going in the shop and grabbing a battery and hooking it up. I think the next thing you guys will probably see is a disassembly on the transom.